today I'm going to show you how to fillet this huge angler here. We're going to go through the gutting process, already killed it. Then we're going to take off the tail here, and I'm also going to show you how to remove the cheeks. So the tail and the cheeks is going to be the main places where we get the meat here. Now for this we will need two things, or ideally three. We're going to need a solid big knife like this one. This is Victorinox. As always, I'm linking everything you need. Also, we need a filleting knife. This is particularly for the cheeks here. And if you haven't killed the fish yet, you will need something, a blunt object. The easiest way to kill anglers is going to be to knock them really hard in the head right here. A couple of hits here and they're going to break the skull and they will be finished. Then you are ready to start working on them. So to fillet these monkfish, we are going to go ahead and turn it around first of all. We're going to begin by removing the guts and taking out the liver here. As you can see, this is a big and nice one. This one is 28 kilos, so quite a bit larger than the ones we usually get. So the first thing we're going to do here is grab the big knife that we have, and we're going to insert it here below these bottom fins. Be careful as you stick it in here, as right underneath here we're going to find the liver as well. Now as you can see, anglers, they have two layers of skin here. They have this outer white one, and underneath here there is another layer as well. So go through both of them at once, and we're going to pull the knife all the way down here to the bottom where the excrement comes out. And as we open it up here you can see the liver. This one is quite big, so you can take the liver out like this, but I like to cut a little bit up through between these two fins here. That way the liver gets more exposed like this. And I'm just going to grab the small knife because it's easier to work with, but you can do this with a big one as well. You can see inside here there are some blood veins that are connected to the liver. So we have one up here. We're going to cut through that. Sorry about that. And one more here. Just gently cut those loose. And then we have a couple of more veins that is connected further down here at the bottom. So just going to cut that all off like this. And we can hear the seagulls in the background. They are very excited about this. We just got this one a couple of hours ago, so I just saved it to show you guys how to fillet it. And a few more of these veins. As you can see, there are quite a lot of them. And here we go. This is the liver. I guess this one would probably be a kilo. To prepare them, you need to remove all this blood. We can do a separate video about that, but I'm just going to put it into a bowl here. These are the rest of the livers. This way it can bleed a little bit, and then we're going to drain it and preserve it cold afterwards. And I will link another video on how to actually cook and remove the veins from the liver. But today let's focus on the meat of the fish. So next we're going to remove all the guts. So we're back to the big knife. We're going to pull up this section here. This is the throat, I assume, down to the stomach. Just going to cut from all the way back here. And remove that. And keep going. You can see there is a layer. Hold that up. Cut down all the way here down. You can remove all the guts at once. You see this is a big fish, so there is a lot of guts. I think we're going to weigh up the meat at the end here, so if you want to see how much meat we get out of this one. So here is at the bottom here with the anus. Going to take all these guts, and these we can't use, so I'm going to leave the guys here, so get ready for a ruckus. Oh yeah. I guess this is a male fish here. Let's move on here. The next thing we need to do is that we're going to cut down along the top here, and we're going to expose all the big tail meat here. So with a big knife here, what we're going to do, I'm going to stick my knife inside here down at the bottom. So you can see here is where we're going to cut off the tail afterwards. So you want to stick the knife in here, about here. So we're going to lift up the skin here. We're going to put our knife, and you can see here just at the middle of the side fin here, there is a bone here. You want to go under that, because otherwise that's going to be really annoying to work with. So through here, both layers of skin, since the fish does have two layers. And from here we can hold the skin up a little bit. If this is your first time doing this, you may want to do this carefully and cut down. So you can see there is a lot of skin here, so you just need to pull it tightly. So the first couple of times, just be very gentle and cut down along the way here, all the way down till we reach the anus, I assume. I don't know what's the fish word for that. So we're just cutting like that. If you hold the knife a little bit at an angle like this, you can do this pretty fast, but that comes with practice. So just take your time these first couple of times. Make sure you get both layers of skin as you're moving down here. Once you make it to this point, we're going to cut through the skin all the way. So 1, 2, 3, and there we go. So we're pretty much going to repeat that on the other side. Now you can turn the fish around if you want to, but it's going to be easier, especially if you're going to do multiple ones of these. You just lift it up from this end, and we pretty much put the knife in here from the back side at the same area, and we just measure out about where we want it to hit. So usually right behind this bone is a good place to aim. So through there, 1, 2, 3, like that. And we can lift it up a little bit. And like I said, just take your time with this. With practice, you can do this pretty fast, but the first couple of times, just want to make sure that you don't cut into the actual meat. It's better to keep a little bit of distance and clean it up afterwards. So you can see there is a lot of thick skin to work through here as well. So all the way down there like that, and we have that removed. Now we're going to release the tail from the rest of the body here. And we do that first by pulling up these muscles, and just a simple cut here is all you really need. Like that. And under here there are some organs. You don't have to cut these out. Actually, if you know what these are, I would love to know in the comments, as we are not entirely sure. My father has been fishing these for 20 years and he doesn't even know. So these. There goes. Last one of the day, guys. So there we go. So the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to cut, sorry about the blood here, it's fresh fish. Next thing we're going to do here is that we're going to cut down here. Now you're going to feel a bone right here. You want to cut right outside that bone. So I'm going to put my knife down here. Normally I would turn the fish around, but since we're filming this, I'll just do it from this angle. Out. Try to get as much of this meat as you can, and we cut down here. Now if this is a time where you can kind of fix up your mistakes, so drag your knife down along here if you didn't cut off enough of the skin. Alright, so just gonna clean it up here a little bit.
Big fish, lots of blood.
Alright, so we'll repeat the process. This is gonna be a lot easier on this side. So I'm feeling for the bone here. It's right here, you can feel it. About the middle point between this big backbone and the end here. So I'm just going to put my knife down here, cutting down through this section, and now I can fix up this little mistake that I made here earlier and take off this skin, excess skin, like that. Just cut that off, and now we're going to break through the bone here. Putting the knife down here, a little bit of an angle, and 1, 2, 3, a lot of power, and there we go. The back is released. We're gonna go fix how to take off the skin here and take off the fillets as well. But I want to show you with the cheeks first here. So let me just move this one to the side, and we're gonna weigh it here at the end. So this is a big and nice guy. So we're gonna use a little filleting knife to remove the cheeks. It's a lot easier to work with compared to the big one. If you look here you pretty much have the cheek of the monkfish here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put the knife inside underneath the eye, and we're going to cut all the way down to the lip here, or the mouth eyes. Now on this end you don't need to cut so far back, a couple of inches. Of course it's going to vary depending on the size of your fish, but a couple of inches is plenty. Now you can see here there are 2 layers of skin here as well. A trick I have found over these last months, as I've been doing this a lot, is that if you just slice right underneath the second layer of skin here, like that, now it's exposed. So this is the second layer of skin. If you press your finger underneath there and press it up against the skin, don't press it down, you can release all the skin here without using your knife. Of course you can go in with your knife too, but I just find this to be so much easier and so much faster to remove the skin cleanly. So like that, all the way down. You can feel the bone down here at the ends. From here I'm just going to use my filleting knife, and I'm going to remove all the skin here to expose the cheek. Like that. And here we pretty much have the meat. Here you can see the second layer of skin that is underneath. I need to get rid of that as well. It's a big fish. Now these cheeks are pretty much meat on as well. I'm thinking maybe this one 350, 400 grams worth of meat in here. So what I like to do with these, I'm just going to turn it around because it's easier for you guys to see and easier for me to work with here. So I'm gonna put my finger all the way down to the bone here, and I'm gonna pull the cheek up a little bit. Now, against here, there is gonna be a layer of sinew running down here, so I'm gonna cut into that all along the front here. And when we get down here, this is where the meat starts. So this fish is probably gonna jerk a little bit as I cut through the meat, as this one is fresh. If yours is not as fresh, this shouldn't be a problem. Just keep it in mind. See, it contracts when I cut through it here. So all the way down. Don't worry about this scene. That's the Norwegian word. I'm gonna write it on the screen. Just cut through them down here. That's fine. So go all the way down here. And I'm also gonna put my knife against the bone here at the bottom, and I'm just gonna cut backwards all the way until I meet the edge here behind. So like this. Up here, you want to be careful, don't cut up here. I'm going to show you a trick. Now if you put your finger, your little finger underneath here, you're going to see these white things. Pull at them, because there is one running through the meat here. So pull, and you can pull them out from the meat. That way you don't need to clean it off afterwards. Yeah. So now we're ready to release the back here. So since we pulled our knife all the way in here, it's pretty easy to just go at the top here where the meat begins and just cut against the bone all the way down like that. And there we go. Big nice steak of cheek. So the process is pretty much the same on the other side. I'm just running through it quickly on this side. So usually keep these cheeks as well as the tail on like 4 days for aging, very cold on ice. So let's weigh these guys up and see how much meat we got out of this. This was almost 28 kilos originally. All of this, the rest of the heads, we are going to discard off. Right, so for the tail here with the bone in the middle still, just shy of 9 kilos. So for the cheeks, the bucket is right under half a kilo, 1.1. Okay, so about 530 grams. So right beneath what we thought. So that's a great yield from these. And the liver we said about 1 kilo. Anyway, we caught an even bigger monkfish here a month ago, so I'm just gonna cut over to that footage and I'll show you how we're gonna fillet the tail. Alright, so we're gonna cut in against the tailbone here. Use that as your guide as you're cutting down along the fish here. Everything inside the fish is going to be entirely boneless, so don't worry about that. Just stay as close to the bone as you can as you're working your way down here. You definitely want to use a sharp filleting knife for this, since we're going to have to cut through some skin here. Here we're getting to the area with the skin. It's easier to just cut through it here like this than to take it off first, and just work your way all the way down to the bottom of the tail like we did here. From here, we're going to start working on the skin to take that off. Now we're going to take off both layers of skin to the degree that we can here. So the way we want to do it is to press the meat away from the spine area here. That way you're going to be able to expose more skin as you cut it, and just work your way all the way through the skin here. Don't worry if you don't get everything perfectly. You can see here we're going to clean it up a little bit here, as well as we are taking the entire steak here off from the bone essentially. This was a pretty big one, as you can see. Well, you have dinner for today, I think. Yes, I think so. And now we're going to repeat the process here on the other side. It is the entire same thing here on the other side. It may be a little bit easier. Alright, so I hope this video was helpful, guys. If you liked it, I'm going to make a bunch more. If you want to see some recipes on how to cook monkfish, I'm going to add a link here. Also, check out the links in the video description to my website, where there will be a lot more recipes. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.